And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 45. I'm a horse Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat and by all of these amazing players as well. Welcome. Hope you all had a great week. Hope you're all enjoying your weekend as we're entering said weekend here and now. With some KSL, with some Korean StarCraft. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Now, just to be fully transparent, these matches are a couple of hours old. How dare I? How dare we? They're so old, Bobby. They're so old. So these matches, they actually did play out live. I want to say 4 hours ago. 4 to 5 hours ago, these matches were live. Of course, you could have checked them out over on Dave Tester's channel, Chicken Man, maybe Steadfast as well. I'm sure there were plenty of English broadcasters covering that event live. Usually we do as well, as we're usually living in the land of Australia with a better time slot and a better time zone for it. But now that we're here in Europa, at least for the next couple of days, for the next couple of weeks, that's maybe a better way to put it. This couple of weeks are here in Europa. It's awful. It's just an awful time for us, Bobby. Awful time. So we're going for some replay coverage instead. Again, these replays are they're still hot. They're still just, you know, cooling off here after just being played out. And now we're here with some PvP action. We're going to be starting things off with the quarterfinals. We have 3 quarterfinals matches. We have herO versus NightMare, followed by Dark versus Creator, and Beyond versus Classic. So this is all quarterfinals matches to lead into the semis, then the finals thereafter. That is the name of the game. That is the plan. Saving during the tournament. I mean, as you know, I usually have my sleep schedule focused around our casting and around our tournaments, at least in Australia. But the setup here is a little bit different. I don't mind. I've already said this before. Setup here in Europa is a little bit different just because I'm in an apartment complex and the walls are far thinner, and I'm not comfortable casting at like 2, 3, 4 a.m. and like disturbing neighbors. Like in Australia, I'm in a house. You know, I'm quite far from any kind of prying ears from neighbors or anything like that. So I could be as loud as I want. In an apartment complex, less so. Again, I don't want to cause any issues. I don't want to cause any problems. I don't want to, like, you know, wake people up when they have to wake up in a couple hours to go to work, you know, right? Like with me going with me like screaming, the walls on the wall, Poppy, and it's like, you know, like 3 a.m. in the morning and all that stuff. So that's why things are a little bit different here, at least again for the next couple of weeks until I do get back to Australia. Then I can start casting everything live again. Then I won't have to worry about anything like that, about being, you know, courteous to the neighbors and not wanting to be too loud or anything like that. It's like sneezing or sleeping. Oh, don't worry about it, Bobby. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Exclamation mark frozen in the chat. Beautiful. Okay. Would have been woken up in the middle of the night by light screaming, Poppy. Oh, the dream, Poppy, the dream. Ah. But yeah, that's why we're covering KSL live, for example. That's why we're not casting everything. Sorry, that's why we're casting KSL via replays. That's why we're not casting everything live as we otherwise would. But here we go. We're getting into our first matchup of the night. It's going to be a PvP between herO and NightMare. Best of 3. Game 1 going to be taking place on hard lead. I'm ready for it. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. herO play. herO play. Yes, herO is playing. Again, herO is very active in the online weekly scene. If you were here a couple of days ago, if you were here yesterday and the day before, you would know that herO, he is a back-to-back ESL Open Cup Americas champion. He just won ESL Open Cup Americas 216 and 215 as well. So herO has been hot, especially post-January and February, post-Masters Coliseum, as well as post-IM Katowice, leading into GSL. Again, herO is looking damn on fire right now. Can he be stopped? We're here to find out. We are here to find out. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of hard lead, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing himself, currently teamless. It is NightMare. Here we go. Exactly, we can just set up the matches here, set up the title as we enter our lovely and beautiful PvP. Again, we've seen these two face off many a time, obviously many a time, but what I love about them is how aggressive they are, how aggressive herO is in the PvP matchup. We've been seeing him recently face off against MaxPax, and even MaxPax has been struggling. Even MaxPax has been struggling a lot against herO as of late in the PvP matchup, just because of how many twists and turns herO can make, whether he's opening up greedily, economically, aggressively, going for a cheese, going for a proxy, going for an all-in. Again, herO is very, very unpredictable, and we'll see if NightMare can keep up. For the time being, double gate opener. 2 gate opener at a NightMare, 2 gate opener at a herO as well. We are both mirroring each other. This is honestly a breath of fresh air. It's as I just mentioned, we've been casting a lot of MaxPax versus herO, and when they face off, there's a lot of like gate expand fake outs, you know, like gate expand double gas into Phoenix Wars. Like, it's a very different dynamic. Just because of how MaxPax opens, it forces herO to open in kind and like react and respond, and there's a lot of metagaming. There's a lot of metagaming going on when anyone plays against MaxPax. It leads to a very unique kind of PvP. Here, playing the same. Like, let's go. Just 2 gate openers here all around, and we're waiting for our initial units of choice. Again, this is a dynamic that we have not seen in like a week. It's like even outside of herO versus MaxPax, we've been casting a lot of Estrella versus MaxPax. There's also a weird metagaming going on there as well, and just a weird dynamic. So yeah, this is kind of the most standard PvP we've seen in quite some time. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Here we go. Double Stalker out of herO, double Stalker out of NightMare. We're going to be vying for map control. We're going to be moving out across the map, trying to catch each other's initial units. Likewise, both NightMare and herO, they're still being active with their probes, trying to keep them alive. They confirmed that the second pylon was thrown down in the main, and likewise, they're also trying to confirm the initial units. We do see that the Stalkers are being scouted, but only singular Stalkers here, as herO is moving out, and NightMare did keep one of his Stalkers hidden, which is important because it could have been a Sentry Stalker opener, could have been Stalker Adept as well. There's no clear answer here for what herO is going to be running into, as the Stalkers of NightMare do move out. Coming in from behind, herO does get eyes on the expansion, and hero's going for 1 base all-in. 1 base all-in from herO, he does get eyes on the Nexus. Is going to be pulling back, but NightMare, he has a surround. Beautiful surround set up here by NightMare. Love the movement early on with his first 2 Stalkers, and he will get a kill on a Stalker of herO. Big pick off already. So solid start here from NightMare, forcing herO back. But again, herO, he has a 3rd gateway and a robo behind this. 1 base all in from herO, and NightMare doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's about to walk into, as reinforcements are on the way. Again, herO, though, he's still down a Stalker, but 2 more come in. They do come in. NightMare, he has to back off. Seeing the Stalker count is a little bit telling. I mean, I say that, we still only reinforced with 2 Stalkers. There's still no confirmation of a 3rd gateway. Behind this shield battery, we have a robo in production as well. NightMare, he's getting ready to defend against the 2 base all-in. Again, robo follow-ups are very, very safe, just because they allow you to get into Immortals, they allow you to build up and make up for a Stalker deficit, but it's still in production, and here comes herO. Goes to the Sentries. Sentry's gonna be going down. The first one does fall. Ooh, and herO saves the Stalker. Big moment there for herO. Does keep that Stalker alive across the map. NightMare, he slipped by. Oh my god. Slips by the main army. He will depower the 3 gateways. Big move once again. All game so far. NightMare, his Stalker movement has been beautiful, by the way. Setting up surrounds, going for these backstabs as well. 3 gateways are depowered. At the same time, though, herO, he does commit. He pushes in. He has the Warp Prism to reinforce. He has high ground vision. So far, good juggling out of herO, not losing anything. Meanwhile, the Stalkers of NightMare are being forced back. We do see those gateways being repowered, and herO, the all-in is still going. The Immortal is still a couple of seconds away. The shield battery in the main base still not done either. NightMare not quite prepared here in his main. Takes down a Sentry. Good pick off there by herO. Very nice pick off as the Immortal has arrived, and herO has to respect it. He backs off to the low ground. Forced out of the main base, but more Stalkers are arriving. NightMare still has 2 Stalkers out of the map. It looks like he was able to escape. That's going to be a kill on the natural base. Oh, recalling those Stalkers, by the way. Does recall the Stalkers into the fight. Trying to focus down that Warp Prism. Warp Prism will go down. We do deny the Warp in, but we lose the Immortal. And herO, he just has too much. He just has too much here. It's 2 Stalkers against the 5 of herO. herO is forcing this back. Another Immortal has arrived. Without the Warp Prism, I believe NightMare can force this back, but will he lose the base? Oh! Shields are triggered. herO pulls back. Does retreat. More reinforcements on the way coming across the map. Warp Prism is being rebuilt as we speak for herO as well. But NightMare, he's barely holding on. Hasn't saturated his natural, doesn't really have much of an economy. Meanwhile, we're going for the Immortal. Again, the shield's already triggered and we can focus it down, but we bleed out a lot of Stalkers in the process. Oof. herO bleeding out a lot of Stalkers, down to 3 Stalkers left. Another Immortal has arrived and NightMare, he's holding. The only thing we're lacking, the only thing I'm concerned about, a shield battery. 1 shield battery here on the low ground would seal the deal, I feel, for NightMare as he warps in another round of units. There it is, shield batteries on the way. And herO, he's up against the wall, looking at the unit stab. We throw down the force field, we go for the Immortal, and we can focus it down once again. Good force fields out of herO. He still has that 1 Immortal remaining as well. Takes down the Stalker, the Warp Prism has arrived. herO able to accomplish quite a lot with only a little. And a big warp into Stalkers. Yeah, herO once again diving on top of the army, diving on top of the Immortal. Shield battery does not finish. Did get focused down. No shield battery, no overcharge, and herO, he's done it. GG gets called, he breaks the natural, and herO takes game number 1. GG. Let's go. GG, well played. As we are going to be getting into game 2. And honestly, that was not a bad game out of NightMare. Like, things got very chaotic and very close between our players here, where we saw NightMare kind of coming in multiple times, out positioning herO and kind of coming in with a backstab. I loved his movement with his Stalkers all around. Again, he just barely couldn't hold. Barely. Like, that was a close defense there, and herO barely broke through. So shout out to NightMare as he was able to hold his own, but towards the end, though, again, just delayed shield batteries, or maybe even just being caught out a little bit too far forward as well. Did bleed out too much. Never built up towards 2 Immortals. Only ever had 1 at a time. And herO did bring him down. But now, we're getting to game 2. Getting to game numero 2. And we'll see how this dynamic changes, if at all, as herO needs 1 more to advance on to the semifinals. NightMare needs to win this game to force the ace match. Let's go. Catching him with the chat. Waking up to Gah sounds like a feature, not a bug. Yeah, if only everyone thought that way. Here we go. Sporting in the top left hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Dragon Kai Z Gaming, DKZ. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the red Protoss, also from land of South Korea, currently teamless, looking deserving to be on a team. It is NightMare. And we'll see if he can fight back against the best Protoss in Korea, arguably the best Protoss in the world right now. Can NightMare pull it off? As for now, is moving out with his probe. We should be seeing 2 gate openers all around. Gateways have been thrown down for our players. Probe's going to be scouting. NightMare opening up double gas. So is herO. So far everything is looking as it should. As the gateways are on the way. Okay, we can see herO not quite tempted to go for the faster expansion. Just does open up 2 gateways back at home as well. So 2 gate versus 2 gate. Last game, both players opened up with double Stalker. We saw herO commit to 1 base all-in. A 1 base all-in that barely worked, by the way, but did commit to it. We'll see what our players have in store for us this time. Is it going to be NightMare's turn to 1 base all-in instead? That is the question. So we do have, again, herO Will both players just wait for the cyber cores? Both players are scouting with their probes. NightMare throws down his second pylon in his mineral line, and so does herO. So both players are fully aware that there is no proxy. No proxy pylon out on the map. And interesting, it is going to be double adept out of NightMare. Going to be opening up double adept. Meanwhile, we have herO opening up Stalker Sentry. Let's go. For those that are curious, the Zealot started up just to make it look like he was making 2 units at a time, waiting for his gas, then canceled the Zealot, goes into the Sentry. Just to hide a little bit further what exactly he's going for. As we can see, he's trying to hide that Sentry as well. Yeah, NightMare, he backs off. The Stalker reveals itself to the pylon. The Sentry doesn't, as herO went for a more safe opener. Meanwhile, the Adepts are moving out. They fan out across the map, and it looks like we do come across the probe. Yeah, probe has been found. At least herO does scout his opponent, does confirm the Adept opener. The probe is going to be chased down. Back at home, we're going to be expanding. My eyes are on NightMare, as he also takes an expansion. He also doesn't go into additional Adepts. It's only 2 Adepts into Stalkers. Ooh, NightMare going for an interesting follow-up, going for a Robo. With this, he will gain access to something like Immortal Production. Will keep him safe once again against an all-in. I mean, didn't save him last game, but almost did. Again, it was a very close game. As Hallucination comes in, does confirm the expansion, does confirm the Robo as the tech of choice. So this leads herO to believe that his opponent is going to be a little bit more passive, most likely. And herO can get into a longer game. Blink is on the way. Again, he's got plenty of sentries and hallucinations to work with as well. Adepts are going to be threatening a shade. With this, we should be going into a prism first, I imagine, just so we can potentially go into a go into Adept harass across the map, but we'll see. As Adepts, they do shade in. They shade into the main base to go for the sentry. Up! One more shot. The sentry, it looks like it will be going down. Big pick up there by NightMare. Gets a sentry, gets a probe, he gets 2 probes. Good pick-ups overall. And just like that, NightMare takes a worker lead. He's ahead in workers, going for the Immortal Production as we mentioned, so he's just a safer, just going for a safer follow-up in general. So there's a bit of a give and take here. A give and take that we speak about quite often in PvP, how because of the Immortal Production, NightMare has a less mobile army. He does not have Blink, which means he can't really move out and be aggressive and be assertive. Not until he gets Blink of his own. Twilight Council's on the way. That should be for a Blink, or we can skip it and go into Charge instead. We have options. But regardless, NightMare's going to be chilling back at home outside of his Adepts harassing, which, you know, they've been active, getting some value here and there. Speaking of Adepts, they have been caught out. They have been caught out by herO, shading on back. See NightMare just taking a defensive position here on top of the ramp. herO himself getting to his own Robo. Blink is done for herO. We can see that we're not going to charge. It is still going to be Blink for NightMare. He's just playing catch up. Until then, again, stuck at home. And I'm waiting to see any player expand and take a 3rd base. And there it is. herO will be the first to take his 3rd. He does have map control with those Blink Stalkers. NightMare, he needs to take his own 3rd as well, but he can't because of the army of herO. He's just camping outside his base. Oh! Ooh. Stalker is going to be going down. herO even recalling back home as there are some Adept shading in. Once again, 2, 3 probes go down. Can we get a 4th? Oh, not quite. But NightMare once again takes another economic lead. He was able to get one earlier, then herO recovered. NightMare taking one again. Probe finally moving out again. He should be looking to expand. There is potential for an all-in here, where we have 2, soon to be 3 gateways up and running for NightMare. Oh. That's who's able to snipe a unit. There it is. 3rd base is now on the way. How many Immortals do we have? We're up to 3 Immortals. 3 Immortals here for NightMare. But you can see he's just being picked apart here, losing a Stalker here and there. wherever herO can. Oh, triggering those shields. Oh my god, overextending a little bit there. Does get a sentry. And will not quite be punished for it. Stalkers barely do escape. Meanwhile, across the map, the adept harass is just non-stop. It just keeps going. 3 more worker kills across the map. Very nicely done. Just continuing to hinder the economy here of herO. And that advantage that herO once had, I mean, now he doesn't have it. What I mean by that, Blink. Blink is now done for NightMare. He has the higher immortal count. Looking at the armies, we have a comparable Stalker count, just higher immortals for NightMare. On top of that, NightMare hasn't been losing any workers this entire game, so he's been freely just teching up, focusing on his production. Gateways are on the way. Prism as well. We're going up to 6 gateways. That's a lot of gates. And this should be for a push. With the arrival of the War Prism, we should be moving out with this army, and we're up to 4 immortals. My god, we have, quite a number available here for NightMare. herO, he has a decent defensive position. He's got 3 immortals of his own. He's going for his own gateway explosion with 6 gates on the way. Charge +1, Temple Archives. We're spending a lot of money on tech and production right now. There's a lot of money being invested here. What about the main army though? Because here we go, NightMare is pushing. It's moving out. Crashes into the main army, does force a blink. We do have 2 shield batteries set up. We have an overcharge as well. Good defensive position here for herO. NightMare forcing his way up the ramp. Will bleed out a Stalker. Good moment so far. Good force fields by herO, but only caught 1 Stalker. NightMare rotates over towards the 3rd base. Slides into one of the immortals. Good force fields as well. Zones away the other 2 immortals of herO. Overcharge is going to be popped. The immortals are trapped. And we had 3. Now we're down to 2. Now down to 1. Now down to 0 here as herO loses every single one of the immortals. And NightMare has a massive army advantage. Zealots are coming in. They're soaking a lot of hits. Immortals being forced back. Oh, the juggling. Barely keep the immortal alive. We barely do save it. As herO won't quite commit. Yeah, both players, they bounce off each other. Again, it was a pretty solid defensive by herO in the sense that saves the 3rd base, keeps alive, did bleed out a lot of immortals, but survived, and that's what's important. And now we can get into the rest of our charge loads. We have +2 on the way. 4th base being taken. NightMare trying to take his own 4th and trying to catch up in terms of all of that tech. 4 gateways, charge, Temple Archives, +1. Ooh, the upgrades here were heavily in favor of herO. NightMare playing catch up. And herO looks like he's in a relatively comfortable position here. I mean, he's got a better army with those Zealots. Doesn't have too many Archons, doesn't need them right now. As NightMare yet to really invest too heavily into his own Zealots either. Immortal production continuing here for herO. Just to be safe. And the game is going to be settling. The game is going to be settling from here. We're calming things down. Calming things down. After a pretty intense moment. And we are just going to be heading into a longer game. Now, the question becomes, do we take up even further than this? Do we head towards Disruptors at any point? Head towards Robotics Bays? So far, we're still committing to Chargelet Archon, Immortal Blink Stalker, which is a pretty well-rounded army composition. But once we get the 4th base, once the 4th base gets fully saturated, that's when we can start thinking a little bit further ahead. Whether it's Sky Toss, whether it's Disruptors, whether it's DTs, like we can afford some, more expensive units to really mix in. And make our armies a little bit more efficient. But for now, herO takes his 4th and he's pushing. He's moving out. Oop, spotted by the Stalkers. +3 is on the way. herO does have an upgrade lead. NightMare not starting +2. Doesn't start +2. Stalker's going to be going down. NightMare cheating with a massive amount of Zealots here. Oh my god. Thankfully, we do have those 3 Archons. And here we go. We do go for the fight. NightMare not able to engage here with his overcharge, but that's a lot of Zealots breaking through. They're trying to at least. Yeah, more Zealot reinforcements coming, and we collapse on top of the Stalkers. We focus on the Archons. And these 3 Archons, they just were not enough. We focused on one of them. The juggling is good, but the army's just crumbling here. As we focus down the prism, Archons go down, and NightMare, he just has to keep on pushing. Again, herO just was not ready for that, was not expecting that many Zealots specifically. The Archon count just barely was not enough. And NightMare, he's snowballing out of control, collapsing on the army, takes down the shield battery, denies the overcharge. The power of the Zealot. Again, it's not that they do too much damage, but they do so amazingly, just tanking here all these Stalker shots. Buying time for the rest of the army to get damage done. We do have Zealots coming from behind though. The Zealot on Zealot, but GG gets called. herO's army was broken. And NightMare ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match here. Again, NightMare initially was struggling to break herO's third, if you remember, and both players kind of bounced off each other, and herO had quite a lot of advantages going his way, but the army composition is where things really did differ, and we saw those Zealots really shine, again, tanking so many shots on their own. Clearly, we saw that it wasn't just that there weren't enough Archons, but I do want to praise NightMare for not bunching up his Zealots. That's what's dangerous about Zealots charging into Archons, is that if the Zealots do bunch up, they take so much splash damage from the Archon shots. That's why they're a part of the composition. But NightMare, he just had a thin line of Zealots, was able to spread them out beautifully and was able to collapse on herO. GG, well played. As we're going to game number 3. Let's go. We go. 100% of Polish people in this stream support the Gaha. I believe that is a big enough sample size to assume that holds true for all of Poland. Oh, I don't think that's how math works. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss player representing CranKy Z Gaming. Being forced into the ace match in this PvP, it is herO. Yeah, and spawning in the top left, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player himself forcing the ace match. Currently, teamless, deserving to be on a team. It is NightMare. Again, a lot of teamless players in Korea right now. They were at one point all picked up, but a lot of them have been since let go. I'm hoping that we can get some more teams interested in the Koreans. The most recent pickup, I believe, was Shin. I don't even what's the name of his team? Oh, you know what? But Shin was recently picked up by a team as well, which is really cool to see. He was teamless for a period. He joined Gaimin Gladiator. That's it, Gaimin Gladiators, which is really cool to see. I'm hoping that players like NightMare, players like Bunny, DRG, that they're able to find a nice home as well. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Stats, all the ex-Kwangdong players. As for now, we're getting into our openers. This is going to be double gate opener at a herO, 2-gate opener at NightMare. Everything looking as it should. No surprises yet here. Again, we've already had an all-in this game when herO went for the 1-base all-in in game number 1. And Golden Aura has a very short rush distance. The reason why I bring up all-ins, Golden Aura has a very short rush distance. You can be very aggressive on this map and have a lot of success. So far, neither one of our players is going for a proxy. Pylons have been thrown down in their respective bases. And we have a herO opening up double adept. Meanwhile, we have NightMare opening up Stalker Sentry. So a bit of a role reversal. If you remember, it was in the last game where herO opened up with a more safer opener with the Sentry. And it was NightMare popping off with his adepts. And I think all in all, NightMare killed 9 probes. Like, it was pretty impressive how much economic damage NightMare was able to deal against herO. 9 probe kills in total. So herO has a lot to live up to. We'll see if he can reciprocate, if he can emulate that and even exceed that as well as he moves out with his first 2 adepts, and he's committing into a 3rd and 4th adept. He could even go up to a 5th and 6th adept thereafter as well. Oh boy. That's a lot of adepts. They are going to threaten the shade. There we go. Okay, we're going to be cutting adepts here at 4. Meanwhile, herO takes the unnatural natural. Oh my god. I mean, adepts take a long time to kill a pylon, so he refuses. Doesn't kill the pylon. It does get up and running. There we go. Adepts now going to be shading in. They didn't want to, but now they have to. And yeah, hero's in a really awkward place. It's going to be so difficult to defend against run-bys here. Behind this, herO going for a robo follow-up, going for something more defensive. NightMare, he sees that there's no expansion, by the way. He may think it's an all-in. He may be deceived a little bit as we have a Twilight Council on the way. That should be for Blink. Nexus getting up and running. Stalker counter getting higher. Shield battery thrown down just in case. Don't blame him. But yeah, I mean, herO, his own natural is actually faster than that of NightMare's. And here come the adepts. We see NightMare moving out. Adepts, they're going to be threatening a shade into the main base. As we do wall off. We do wall off in time. NightMare moving out, and again, he needs to get a read on what exactly is going on and what the base count is looking like. Force back the army. Does see the Nexus. Force fields have been thrown out. We catch a Stalker. We get 1. Can we get a second? And really good force fields by herO. Does get a second. Now a 3rd Stalker as well. Oh, sorry. 3rd? What? 2nd Stalker. 2nd Stalker goes down. Big pickups there. NightMare back at home. Trying to get his own 3rd gateway up and running. But herO has arrived. Warping in the face of his opponent. Again, herO, he's only got 2 gateways. But he is pressing his advantage. Picking up Stalkers. Getting another one very low. And herO essentially has Blink with that Prism. Prism does take a volley. Oh, Stalker goes down. And not the best trades there from herO. He gets a shield battery, but loses a Stalker. Goes for another warp in. Blink is soon about to finish. Dark Shrine on the way. Bold move here by herO. And this is becoming more and more frequently. Where I remember last year, 2023, I would talk about PvP, the dynamic that there is in PvP, and talk about how, like, Dark Shrines in this matchup, you know, they end games straight away, like, maybe once a month sort of thing. You know, it wasn't the most common of thing, despite the fact that we casted more than, like, 2 times a day at least. But, it's been happening more frequently. We've been seeing this, like, 2 times a week. Like, it's been happening a lot more when it comes to DTs just waddling in and just ending the game. And I'm bringing this up because I don't see detection. There's no robo here for NightMare. There's no Stargate. There's no Forge. Dark Shrine is about to finish, and it may just end the game. Oh boy, not again, Papi, not again. It happened yesterday. It happened in the Estrella series, in Estrella versus Max Packs. And even the week before that, it happened as well. Like, it's been a lot more commonplace, and it's a little bit smooch. Robo's on the way, looking very exposed. Dark Templar are warping in here on the right-hand side with the Warp Prism. Oh, no. And as NightMare takes the 3rd base, as his main army is being fended back, we do recall into the main. DT is waddling in. And there's no detection. Probes are going down. DT towards the natural as well. Do we go for the Robo? That's the question. No, we go for the probes. Good force fields, but the pylon is... We still have access to the pylon. Pylon is going to be focused down instead. Yeah, DT in the main, DT in the natural. Overcharge, keeping that pylon alive a little bit further. Oh. But now there are 2 DTs in the natural. That's going to be 8 probe kills. Robo is going to be powered. But this is a pretty brutal amount of damage. Oh, do we go for the sentries? Oh, he wants them. He thinks about it. And this is going to be cleaned up. This is going to be dealt with. But this is done so much already. Like 8 worker kills. We've killed a couple of stalkers. force fields, overcharge as well. And behind this herO, he's up 10 workers. He's up 10 probes. Third base is up and running. We have Blink on the way and Shadow Stride as well, which is Blink for the DTs, +1 in production. herO with a massive lead, and NightMare from here may be forced all in. Like, we have to make a really tough decision right now. NightMare, it's either we saturate our third and play from behind and try to catch back up in a different way, but an FC Shade into the natural. We have an FC natural. We have a DT here on the front lines as well. It's going to be cleaned up, but we distract the main army, and we get another 5 probe kills. Did I say 5? I meant to say 8, as we get more adepts in the main as well. 9 probes fall. Oh, and the economic disparity here between the two players is massive. You can see how full the production tab is for herO, because he can spend he has money to spend. NightMare doesn't. NightMare just reprobing. Falling behind. GG gets called. We don't even get the final fight. There is no final fight because the DTs did basically end the game. GG. herO takes the series 2-1. GG. Congratulations here to herO. Again, it is a dynamic that was a little bit more rare in PvP, but it's been happening more and more frequently. I wonder what it is about the meta that shifted, because winding it back, proxies are a lot less common nowadays. Proxies are a lot less common, and maybe greed is a lot more common, so we just delay our robos. Like, delayed robo is maybe more prevalent nowadays, these past couple of months. Because of that, DTs waddle in, and there's just nothing for them. There's no detection whatsoever, and they can just end the game. And it didn't end the game immediately, but it basically did here, where NightMare was trying to recover. He couldn't go for his own all-in, and the economic damage was just too much with that. GG. Congratulations, as herO advances on to the semifinals, and we are here to determine who faces off against him. Who else advances on to those semis, as we have a Terran versus Protoss up next between Bjorn and Classic. Let's go. Another quarterfinals match.